Lifelike synthetic flowers abound in market these days. But in spite of their resemblance to the real, people still prefer the natural flowers. They have devised various ways of preserving them. Drying is one of them. This program deals with dry flowers. Indian floriculture industry has been shifting from the traditional use of flowers to commercial use. In this area, dry flower industry seems to be quite promising. Dried flowers and plants have been exported for the last 40 years, and today, India is one of the leading countries in this field. Dried flower products are in very high demand.
Nowadays, especially in the international market, like in Holland, dry flower demand is very, very high. Last year, the Department of Horticulture, some of the senior officers, along with the Secretary of Horticulture, Nagaland, they went and participated in the international trade fair, especially for dry flowers. And from Nagaland also, some of the self-help group participated, and the demand is very, very high.
In Northeast India, resources are available in plenty. Today, many people are getting involved in this flourishing business.
I'm a part of this group, Tongsum group. You can see the banner here. It's a small group formed just recently, last year. That we formed this group last year. It includes some college students and housewives who don't have any job. No, so we thought of to do things just to earn some money, just to be financially independent. So we form a group, a small group, and then we are dealing with all these dry flowers, some wildflowers, and then that's how we're starting this.
Unlike the fresh cut flower, dry flower has a good value. Fresh flower can be kept for around 2 weeks, but dry flower can be preserved for many years with the original colors. She is Azangla, a member of the Chungmi Flower Grower Association. She is into this profession for many years. Today, she is one of the breadwinners in her family. She did not receive any formal training. Then how did she acquire this talent?
Turning on bagia, asrbo no lanua nongi, onogada, ibaba creative idea, BB idea nongina. Yang lu depa asrbo was a room material, mashiga, no. Yagi bo langka bo sit zada uno ki tumlong janong tukulong pilamar asrbo ajinya tangar jonga dogar asrbo tangar tanga yemai nya kan da sayo no ya da ji singa yam sayo au da uno tukulong ya dogwa asrbo ano tanga oda mindigap nongor bayang mas tanga mashi mitral ki uno ki da langka bo sa do da sa.
Until the government took the dry flower business into commercial venture, it remained just a hobby for many years. They were lucky if they could fetch some money in the local market.
This dry flower, the introduction of dry flower under commercial horticulture was introduced only from this year, 2006-07. In this scheme, the government of Nagaland is providing the beneficiaries 3 types of dry flower as a cut flower for marketing. That is, right now we are starting on the garden of helichrysum. These are helichrysum plant. The other one we are giving is statis, and the last dry flower is lemonium. In this scheme, we are giving per beneficiaries in area of 250 square meter area, 1,000 plant of helichrysum, 1,000 plant of statis, and 500 plant of lemonium. Here, the beneficiaries are not to give any participating share. There is no share. Everything is provided free of cost by government. We will be giving them the planting material. Then we will be giving them certain inputs, other inputs which are as a component in these schemes.
To start dry flower cultivation, one needs to have a plot of land where there is sufficient water and sunlight. Locally available manure, such as cow dung, is enough for the plant to grow healthy. A good bed is a must. The plant is planted at a distance of 40 cm to 45 cm. A distance of around 1 or 1.5 feet is kept in between the 2 successive beds so that people can walk through. The weeds should be removed regularly, otherwise they will use up all the fertilizer in the soil. Watering is very important. It is advisable to water in the morning and evening. The plant should be prevented and protected from pests and diseases in order to get a healthy flower. If anything unusual is seen in the plant's growth, it is advisable to discuss the matter with the experts. The plant takes around 3 months to flower, but it varies from species to species. When the flower reaches this stage, it is plucked and pierced with a bamboo stick for drying.
Once the production starts, they will be drying the dry flower and they will be giving value addition by incorporating certain wild plants, wild twigs, wild leaves and wild flowers, and they will be arranging in a basket and all and make it presentable so that it can be marketed. For this also we have tied up with the same Florence and Flora, and we have also sent our entrepreneur to Tuticorin for doing value addition to the dry flower in Tamil Nadu, and about 25 farmers has been already trained in this skill of giving value addition to the dry flowers.
Dry flower making is not only restricted to helichrysum, statis and lemonium plants. If one is energetic and creative, there is no limit. All the plants and trees can be preserved for dry flower, like pine cone, corn, bamboo and so on.
Raw material tambai hajra gazer imdaler nam sensagar uda ayang tamaga ler nambai armno pandar dazer aser center da gaja galaxy dazer.
Easily available tools like scissors, pliers, thread and sellotapes are the basic requirement. This is how a rose flower is made. The materials that are used are corn husk, threads, stick or iron. Finally, the rose is fully blossomed. This is a wild mushroom. It is cut into pieces in such a way that it looks like the flower petal. Apply dendrite or fevicol at the base and fix it on the wild sunflower. This tree, of course, adds beauty to nature, but when this reaches the hands of the dry flower makers, they can turn to a poppy flower and many more when it is dyed. This flour is made from this medicinal plant. In nature, pine cone is beautiful. It is used for decorations. But when it is broken into pieces and dyed in different colors, it turns gorgeous.
오늘 강아종을 들네 그래서 저거 매매 나간다 실 번호가 주고 강아종아 가서 다서 비기당이 월 번호다 part-time 납다 오늘 무사정아 리다 번호게 이냐가 저거 오늘 주고 비스송아나 매종양 로바듬 주나 레직스서 저거 비스송아 스나담다 가서 오늘 제게서 가요 그리고 마시바기 주고 나로양 로즈 먹어봐기 그럼 ajo sonte la ba na doctor yang lo doctor da serbo ker nam serba ano fin ka nga chong ma seraf ka da nya ka ben do doctor ba ji uno lo jo ge finishing wa en ma yang lo
You give anything to them, they will transform into a beautiful flower. The secret behind this is simple creativity and a sense of flower arrangement.
Generally, Nagas are, I should say, like very gifted in arrangement. So you find a lot of people who are into this business, and comparably it's much easier than fresh flowers, fresh cut flowers, the dry ones. So we use it for bouquets, even dry wreaths, and then some flower arrangement, vests and all.
People are talented and the beauty of flower is beyond description by words. But to what extent are they exposed to this competitive market?
We are not exposed to outside so much. So we don't know the market, what is happening outside Nagaland. And that is one of the most, I should say, biggest problem we are facing. The growers in Nagaland, in Kohima particularly, doesn't know like the market value, the market. They don't know the price, they don't know where to sell, who is the buyer. So like one thing we are concentrating right now is to look for the best buyer and the best place where we can send our products.
The market of dry flower is very tremendous. Actually, to market say the fresh flowers from such a remote area is more difficult. Like if you take an example like Kichu, a district in Nagaland, or Tuengsang, where we have big potential and there's a lot of natural wild flowers, twigs, grasses, which can be made into a very beautiful dry flower with certain value additions. And in case of dry flower, there is no chance of any say spoilage, because we can transport, we can keep for any number of days and transport to any distance. So I think Nagaland have a very bright future for the dry flower. Not only Nagaland, if you see the scenario of the country, India is one of the leading producer and marketing of the dry flowers. Our strengths will be much more in the dry flower.
When government took the initiative of making dry flower industry into a commercial venture, it was the beginning of getting exposed to different places and different walks of life.
After going to some trade fairs and some flower shows, we have seen the value. People have started seeing the value of the dry flower.
Horti department jagi ono ja tangar ne medada kamda sir ono ge chu jaga ai ga nong ono ga ba manong tenase da ono ge tika ge nya ba ya Nagaland a chong nong ya asir tanga kan jo nong dry flower na no ya tangar bo ya ram nong sunguli o song zum long zum ta kong wai de bo jong a dai sir arrangement a chong ba da sao no bo ya kenji ge mjipa tika ge msa da no ya da so no bo ali ma kwija no ngai e ma yang lo mang wa wa aji uno ge da as ge man ma tanga sir tangar ke na jong ai ya ta jong a da ta song ma je sabu ar bang ya.
Floriculture in Nagaland has a very bright future, and I should tell my fellow friends and the youth of Nagas to get into floriculture business.
My message to all those who are unemployed and who are still looking for a job is that instead of depending on the government all the time, it's better to start our own business, small things like making the flowers and any other things, you know, just to be independent, just to be financially independent. And if we are very good in what we do, the government is always there to give us a loan, to help us, to push us forward. And in that way, I can say that it's better to use our time usefully instead of just, you know, depending on the government all the time.
The interest in dried flowers comes in waves, bringing all the old applications and techniques along with fresh inspirations and ideas. Dried flowers are long-lasting, tolerant of most temperatures, and offer a wide range of subtle and striking colors.